Hey y'all, it's Who Wants to Smoke Gourmet Grill. This is the Grill Guru, and you see what time it is. Smoke brisket. Let's get it. Here we have a 6-pound brisket. It's typically the size I'll go for. I can't really fit a 9 or 10 pounder in my smoker, but as you can see, every brisket has a meat side and a fat side, or called the cap. Alright, so we're gonna make sure we inspect the cap and trim it down so that it's even. We're gonna cook it low and slow, and we want that fat to really render off as we cook. So this is a very important step to make sure that we get an even layer of fat along the cap. Now anywhere that we feel unevenness, we'll take our blade and trim off that excess fat. Again, just creating an even layer so that we can create a moist, well-cooked, evenly cooked brisket. Be sure not to dig too deep into the cap when you're doing this. We'll flip over to the meat side and we'll do the exact same thing. Here we have to be extremely careful because if we cut into the meat, we've ruined our brisket essentially. We've made holes where the juices can leak out and we'll lose our great tenderness. After trimming, we can season, and the first thing you want to do is get a nice layer of olive oil. This not only adds a great taste to the meat, but it also helps give us something that the rub can lay on and stick to the meat with. We're not being extremely generous here, but we do want to make sure we have a decent layer. Just rub it in, make sure you're getting the sides as well. Next, you already know, Guru's Restaurant Blend. 2 parts salt, 1 part garlic powder, 1 part black pepper. For those who've watched before, you already know what this mix is about. It's incredibly delicious. Apply it generously on both sides and pat it in, and we'll be ready for the smoker. Now let's talk about how we're going to smoke it. We're going to use 3 different phases. The first phase is just the smoking phase. That's when the meat takes in the most smoke. So we're just gonna let it do its thing, let it capture as much smoke as possible. We're not gonna open up the smoker at all. The next phase is our spritzing phase. That's when we try to moisten the meat so that it maintains water and keeps its tenderness. The last phase is the wrap phase. This helps it get past the stall and get to a nice tenderness. We're gonna aim for about 210 degrees final temperature. The rub is on, so we can start phase 1. 235 for 3 hours. We're not going to open it up during those first 3 hours. After that is phase 2, where we're now spritzing it during hours 3, hour 4, and hour 5 with half apple cider vinegar, half water. Make sure you're making smoke for the first 5 hours. And this is something I love about my Masterbuilt Pro Series smoker. I have a side loader that I can just add chips as needed without making a mess, without having to open up the smoker. And it's just a twist, and we're back to smoking. After 5 hours, we can start phase 3, which is wrapping the brisket and placing the wrapped brisket at a higher temperature. We're going to wrap it in aluminum foil, and we'll do this with 2 different sets of foil. That way we make sure we have a good seal. You want to make sure you maintain fat side up during the entire cook, and when you return it to the smoker, it should be at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's back on the smoker, it's just a waiting game from here. You want to make sure the internal temperature is at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. At least for me, that's where I found to get the best tenderness and the best flavor of my brisket. It took this brisket 4 more hours, but it is perfect. Now here's my favorite part. I do a finger test, and it should penetrate the meat without any resistance. Oh my goodness, delicious. And here it is cut. You can see how moist it is, how tender it is with pieces falling, and that bark. Wow. Thank you for watching Who Wants to Smoke Gourmet Grill. I'm the Grill Guru. Please subscribe, click that like button below, and comment if you have questions. Until next time, guys.